Hello, good afternoon everyone from Nepal and good morning to all the students Ella, and everyone from UK. I'm Bani, host for today, and I'd like to welcome you all of you to our seminar for the University of Chester today. We have South Asia Regional Manager for from University of Chester, Ayla here, and our base director and British Council certified agent Hari sir, senior manager from Nepal Kedar sir, and our all base team here. Welcome you all and the students. And we have our students from UK, University of Chester as well, Sandeep Gautam and Samrat Adhikari. Welcome you all. And
thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, Sandeep. And Ella, I think you can start your presentation.
Okay, thank you so much, Annie.
Yeah, we'll have your presentation first, and all of students will ask anything regarding University of Chester and current scenario about COVID-19, and we'll go in that question answer session after your presentation. And our students from UK will share some experience of there about university experience or UK experience, and we'll have short brief about visa processing and about visa in last session. So you can start your presentation for today. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bunny. Thank you so much, the whole BEES team, for arranging this session. I was supposed to travel to Nepal in June, but of course that trip has now been cancelled. So I think this is going to be a very useful session for all the students who are considering studying in the UK. So my name is Ella, and I'm the country manager for Nepal. And my role is to guide students throughout the admission process, answer all their questions up to the point when they arrive in Chester. So if you have any questions about your course, about what to do next with your application, whether you are eligible to study at the university, if you would like to meet with other Nepalese students at Chester, or maybe even if you want to have a similar session with the program leader to learn more about the course, I'm your man. I will be able to arrange it for you. So the purpose of today's presentation is to help students with the research about study options in the UK. You will be spoiled for choice because there are over 130 universities in the UK, and every university is different. There will be big universities, small universities, campus-based universities, city-based universities. Tuition fees will be different, cost of living will be different. So it's important that you choose university that is right for you. And I hope that you will find this session useful. And I really, really hope that I'll meet some of you in Chester later on this year. So in terms of our institution, we are one of the oldest educational establishments in England. We opened our doors to first students in 1839, so over 180 years ago. I did a quick research and I found that the oldest higher education institution in Nepal is Sri Chandra College, which was opened in 1918. So our institution is was opened nearly 80 years before the oldest institution opened in Nepal, just to give you some comparison here about the who we are and how long we have been providing education to students. When we started off, we only had 10 students, but today we have students from 130 countries, and the population of students is approximately 20,000. So we have grown quite a lot. When we first started, we were focusing mostly on education. We were the first college to train teachers, but today we offer over 300 courses at foundation, undergraduate, postgraduate, research level across 8 faculties. We offer truly British experience, which I think that many universities don't these days in the UK, since UK is such a popular destination amongst international students. What that means is that a big majority of our students are British. And you will find only few Nepalese students. So it may be a case that you will be the only Nepalese student in your class. And if you haven't noticed, I'm not British, so I'm originally from Poland. And when I first came to the UK, I made sure that I stay away from all other Polish people and all Eastern European people, because I wanted to learn something different. I wanted to challenge myself, and I felt that this would not be possible if I was staying in the environment that I know. So I think if you are going to spend so much money on your education, if I was a student coming to the UK once again, I would be looking for a place where I can learn something new. And I hope that some of you will appreciate that as well. In terms of rankings, there are many rankings out there. So you will have the Times Good University Guide, Complete University Guide, and many, many others. But the ranking that I really like to refer to when we are talking about the University of Chester is TEF, Teaching Excellence Framework. That's a official UK government ranking, and it was done for the first time in 2017. And UK universities were divided into 3 categories: gold status, silver status, and bronze status. University of Chester got silver status, and we are in a very good company because King's College London, the University of Manchester, UCL, Warwick also got silver status. So you can be reassured that the quality of education at the University of Chester is of a very high standard. As you can see from my presentation, we were also ranked 24th in the UK in terms of quality of teaching by the Times Good University Guide in 2020. One of my favorite rankings, though, is what Uni Student Choice Award, because this is a ranking where students vote. Students across all UK universities are submitting their votes across a number of different categories. And as you can see, in 2020, we were voted top 10 across all UK universities by international students, which gives me a reassurance that international students at the University of Chester are happy with their experience, are happy with the quality of education. But as you can see, we were also voted top 10 for job prospects, local life, and student support. So in terms of the location, I know that many of you are familiar just with London. We are located 2 hours away from London, between big cities of Liverpool and Manchester. Liverpool is 45 minutes away by train, and Manchester is 1 hour away by train. When I visited Kathmandu in March, it took me 1 hour to get to some of my meetings. So I suppose you can treat this part of the UK like a little Kathmandu. Many of my colleagues live in Manchester or live in Liverpool, and they commute to Chester on a daily basis. So communication and transport links are very, very good in the UK. You can stay within 1 hour of your campus. For students who have never been to the UK, I think one important thing to remember is that there is so-called north-south divide in the UK. So south of the UK is the most expensive when it comes to the cost of living. When you come to the UK, you have to, of course, budget not only for your tuition fees, but you also have to have money for your living expenses. And London is one of the most expensive cities in the world. So if you have a limited budget, you should really think carefully whether London is the best choice for your studies. The pound stretches much further as you go up north. So Chester, the cost of living is much lower than in the south of the UK. Now, for me, one of the best selling points for the University of Chester is the location. I have to say I'm in love with the city of Chester. As you can see, it has been voted the 6th best city in the UK, one of the safest in the region, one of the best places to live in the UK, 5th prettiest city in Europe, one of the happiest and regional treasure. Again, for those of you who have never been to the UK, think about Cambridge, think about Oxford, and this is the kind of city feel that you are going to get when you come to Chester. It's one of the heritage cities, so it's very old, very traditional, cobbled streets, black and white buildings. And again, you have to think whether this is the kind of city that appeals to you, where you can see yourself studying for the next few months or few years. Here you have some of the images from our city. In the bottom left corner, you can see our high street. There are over 8 million visitors visiting Chester every year. We have lots of cafeterias, shops, restaurants. It is just so beautiful. Now, there is a lot of things that you can do in Chester. We have the second most photographed clock in the world. We have one of the best zoos in Europe, lots of festivals throughout the summer. We have the oldest racecourse still in use. We have Blue Planet Aquarium, and the largest designer shopping outlet is only 15 minutes away from the city center. We are a multi-campus university. So 180 years ago, we only had one campus, and that was Pargate Road campus. But as we were expanding and adding new courses and having more and more students, this campus is now too small to host 20,000 students. So we have a number of different sites in and around Chester. I would say that majority of our courses are delivered on our Chester campuses. All of them are very, very close to the city center. So the old town is here, and it's surrounded by a wall, because Chester used to be a Roman fortress. There's hardly any traffic within the old town, so that it's very nice to walk around and browse the shops and sit in cafes. And as you can see, the main campus is 10 minutes walk from the city center. And that means that you can pop out for your lunch break between your classes to the city center. Other campuses are also within walking distance. And that's another thing that you have to take into consideration when you are choosing your university, because transport is quite a big cost when you come to the UK. If you are in London and you want to buy a monthly ticket for zones 1 to 9, you can spend as much as £360 per month just on transport. For £360 per month, you will be able to get accommodation in Chester. Well, maybe, I think some of my students got accommodation for £360. So that's another thing that you have to think about. How far is your campus from the city? Some of the campuses may be far away, 30 minutes away from the city center. So do your research if you are happy with the location of your campus. Our other campuses are a little bit further away from Chester. So Thornton is the engineering campus, and there is a free shuttle bus to that site. Warrington is only 15 minutes away by train from Manchester. Now, our main campus, Pargate Road, was opened in 1839, and it has everything that a student may need. So if you decide to stay on the main campus for the duration of your studies, and if you don't want to leave the campus at all, you don't have to, because we have everything. We have a chapel, we have multi-prayer room, we have sport facilities, swimming pool, we have tennis courts, library, accommodation, laundrette, mini supermarket, we have lecture theaters, just generally everything that you need is on campus. Here are some of our sport facilities. As you can see, they are very modern, and they are very nice. We have gym, we have tennis courts, so you can use them. If you are into any sport, probably you will be able to play it on the campus. Now, in terms of the facilities, we invest very heavily in our facilities. We upgrade them continuously. And that's, I think, another worry for some of the students who are thinking, oh, if I go to a smaller city, probably the university is not going to have as good facilities as I may find in London or in bigger cities. That's not true. You will find that, our facilities are as good as the universities in bigger cities. And as you can see, we were voted 12th in the UK in terms of money spent on facilities by the Complete University Guide. So I hope that this is going to give you some reassurance that they are of high quality. Now, let me move to another of our campuses, Queen's Park campus. This is a dedicated campus for business students. It's a very nice site, and we offer around 60 different courses for business students there. It used to belong to Lloyds Banking Group, and as you can see, the business school has won a number of accolades over the years. This is our Kingsway campus, where you can find arts, design, and media courses. Again, some more of the images. Thornton campus is the campus dedicated for science and engineering, and it's our biggest campus. It has around 66 acres, which shared with around 60 different companies. So there is that interaction between education and business there. And it used to belong to Shell, the oil company. So facilities are really good as well. You can study cybersecurity, computer science, electrical and electronics engineering there. Another one of our campuses is Wellington. And as I said, this is the campus that is the closest to Manchester, only 15 minutes away from Manchester by train. And you can study business media and sport courses there. Riverside is a dedicated campus for health, nursing, and education. And just to tell you that no matter which campus you study at, you can still use facilities on any of our campuses. So very often business students will be staying on the main Pargate Road campus, and they will be just going for classes to Queen's Park. In terms of accommodation, you will have a choice whether you want to stay in private accommodation or whether you want to stay at the University of Chester accommodation. As I have mentioned before, you have to stay within 1 hour of your campus, so within 1 hour of journey. We have around 41 halls of residence, so you can pick and choose the one that is right for you. The cheapest accommodation starts from around £79 per week. You will get room to yourself, but you will have to share bathroom and kitchen. We don't have shared accommodation, so it will be just you in the room. The rent includes all the utility bills, such as gas, electricity, water, heating, so you don't have to worry about anything else. the accommodation is guaranteed for all international students. So if you actually apply by 10th of August for accommodation, you are guaranteed to get a place in one of our halls of residence. And it's very secure. We have campus security 24/7 all year round, so you don't have to worry about your safety. But of course, coming to the UK is not all about studying. You want to have some fun as well and make friends. And there is no better place to do it than joining one of our societies. We have over 130 different societies, and this is only a small selection of them. Over 4,000 students are part of a club or society at the University of Chester. And if you cannot find a society that you like, you can always create one if you find enough students who are interested in joining the society. I think student support is very important because we have students from 130 different countries and everybody is coming from a different educational background. So we have a dedicated team that will support you throughout your studies if you encounter any problems. And here are some of the accolades that they won over the years. Now, in terms of the programs, I have already mentioned that we have lots of programs to choose from. You will be spoiled for choice because in the entire UK, you can choose from around 50,000 different degrees at undergraduate level and around 20,000 different degrees at postgraduate level. But I would encourage you to do a lot of research before you decide which course you want to study, because MSc Management at the University of Chester may have a completely different content than MSc Management at another university. So make sure that you go to our website. The website will have lots of information, what kind of modules you will be studying, what each module contains, how you will be assessed. And some of them will also have videos with students who are studying the course, so you can learn from the students. So in terms of the most popular courses, of course, business faculty is the most popular, but I think the second most popular faculty at the University of Chester is health. So if there are any doctors who are listening to our Facebook session today, and I would encourage you to have a look at our courses. We have around 30 different courses at postgraduate level for doctors, such as MSc Oncology, Human Nutrition, Gastroenterology, Family and Child Psychology, and many others. And in some countries, like, for example, Bangladesh, majority of students that we get are actually doctors. And we also have an option of studying a 4-year bachelor degree with a placement option. So usually bachelor degrees in the UK are 3 years. But if you want to get extra experience in the UK, you can choose the sandwich degree. Not all of the courses will have it. Here is the list of the degrees that we offer with the placement year. And we can discuss that as and when I find somebody who has interest in it. Foundation courses are for students whose grade 12 are not very good or whose English is not very good. So if you have completed grade 12 with good grades, you can join year 1 of your chosen bachelor degree. But if your academics are not that great, then you can always be considered for one of our foundation courses. That means extra year of studying though. Now, in terms of entry requirements, I will not be discussing them in detail because we look at the application. I look at the application holistically. So I'll be looking at your work experience, at your grades, which institutions you have attended. BEES Education will be able to pre-screen your application and tell you whether you are likely to get an offer letter. I can do that the same for you. In general, grade 12 students with good grades can join year one. Bachelor degree students who have completed a 3-year degree or a 4-year degree will be considered for a master's degree. But of course, academic grades are not the only thing that we are looking at. In order to be successful in your studies, you also have to have good level of English. And as you can see, we accept a number of different qualifications. In terms of IELTS, we accept 6.0 with no element below 5.5. For postgraduate courses, we accept 6.5 with no element below 5.5. But we also offer free University of Chester English language tests. So that's very important because I hear that many IELTS centers and English test centers are now closed. So if you have a conditional offer letter from us, you can take our test on Skype with one of our English language teachers. And if you pass it, we will be able to waive IELTS for you. A lot of students are worried if this is going to affect their visas. Please do not worry. We have been doing these tests for the past 7 years. We are a highly trusted sponsor. We are a public university and we have right to conduct our own tests. If you take our tests and you don't reach the required score, you can always attend our pre-sessional English language courses. And this year, we are conducting them online. So depending how far you are from the target score, you may come for 5-week, 8-week or 12-week pre-sessional English language course. As you can see, this is at additional cost. So the longer the course, the more money you will have to pay. So I really hope that you will be able to pass our English language test and we will be able to waive IELTS and there will be no need for pre-sessional English. But if you do need it, you have to plan in advance because as you can see, some of the courses start as early as beginning of June. So if you apply in July and you need to attend 12 weeks pre-sessional English, that option will not be on the table for you. So I always encourage students to plan in advance and apply as early as possible. Applications do not cost, so they are free of charge. You don't have to pay anything for your application. So start it now, and then you will have clarity in the next few weeks. What are your conditions? What kind of documents you need to provide? And it will be a much smoother process for every party involved, and it will be less stressful. Now, in terms of the tuition fees, one thing that I would like to mention is that there is no free education in the UK. So even UK students have to pay £9,200.50 no matter which university they choose, which course they will be studying. So as you can see, our tuition fees for international students are very similar to what UK students are paying. Other universities may charge up to 5 times as much for international students as they charge UK students. So that's another part of research that you will have to do. You have to make sure and discuss it with your family that you can afford the tuition fees as well as the cost of living. So in terms of master's degree, for example, you can see that the tuition fees are £12,450 for September 2020 intake. Master's degrees in the UK are 1 year, most of the time. And we offer up to £3,000 scholarship, depending on the grades, and the exact amount of scholarship will be confirmed once we have assessed your application. If you pay your fees in full when you arrive in Chester, you can get £250 discount. So if you get the maximum scholarship and you pay your tuition fees, you can pay as little as £9,200 for your master's degree. So as you can see, it's a very, very affordable tuition fee when compared to other UK universities. September is the main intake in the UK, so this is where you will find the biggest choice of courses. Some universities may have January intake or April or November intake, but the amount of courses available will be limited. At the University of Chester, we also offer January intake, but as you can see, it's not all the 300 courses. It's a selection of business-related and health-related courses at postgraduate level, and the tuition fees stay the same as they do for September intake. Now, in terms of payment of the tuition fees, we have 3 payments. So £3,000 you have to pay if you decide to accept the offer letter. Then 50% of the remaining tuition fees has to be paid when you arrive in Chester in September or October, and 50% of the remaining balance will be paid in January 2021. Our refund policy for September 2020 intake has slightly changed. So we know that these are very uncertain times. So if you pay your tuition fees or your deposit and you decide not to come to Chester, as long as we have not issued CAS, you will be refunded the full amount. We'll not be deducting any money from your deposit. So whatever you pay us, you will get back. There is a whole refund policy page on our website, so you can read all the details when your money will be refunded, when it will not be refunded. The general rule is that if you have contributed to your visa refusal, we will be looking into that and we'll be deciding whether we can refund the money. Let's say that you have used fraudulent documents when applying for visa, then of course you have contributed to your visa refusal, and then it's most likely that you are not going to get your deposit back. But for example, if you go for a visa interview and the visa officer will decide that no, you are not a genuine student and you cannot come to the UK, then don't worry, you will refund the deposit to you. Application process. Application process is quite lengthy. So first you have to make an application and you can submit your documents to BEES Education. As I said, they are going to pre-screen your documents to make sure that you have a chance of getting an offer letter from the University of Chester. And then we will process your documents on our side. Sometimes we have to send your documents to the department, and sometimes within a week, sometimes within 2 weeks, you will have a decision. If you get an offer letter from us, and if you want to accept it, once you have met all the conditions, you will have to pay £3,000 deposit to secure your place. This is not on top of your tuition fees. This is like the first installment that you will have to pay. And once you have paid your deposit, then we are going to arrange genuine intention interview with you. BEES Education is going to prepare you for that interview, and they are going to make sure that you are aware what is required and that you know what kind of research you should do. Generally, the genuine intention interview is going to help you to prepare for the interview with the visa officer. We want to see whether you are ready for that interview, whether you have done enough research, whether you know why you want to study at the University of Chester, whether you know your modules, etc., etc. So you need to pass that genuine intention interview. Sometimes it takes 2 attempts, sometimes it takes 3 attempts. So again, this part of the process can take a few weeks to complete. And once you pass the interview, you will have to show us 28 days bank statements. Every year, I lose a number of students because they are not able to provide bank statements by the CAS deadline. So again, planning is very, very important because if you apply today, you cannot get an offer letter, pass a genuine intention interview, and receive CAS within a week's time. But once all these steps are completed, you will receive CAS from us, which is like a sponsorship letter, and you can apply for visa. Again, I really urge you to use agent services, especially when it comes to applying for visa, because if you have never done it before, it can be quite complicated. Even the smallest mistake can mean a visa refusal, which is never good for your immigration record. And we have been working with BEES Education for 5 years now, and they have such a good expertise, and they know how to help you and how to make sure that we give you the best chance of securing that visa to the UK. Now, in terms of the deadlines, you can see that different courses will have different deadlines. The first column means the start date, so this is when your course starts. The second column tells you when we stop accepting applications. So this is the last date that we'll be accepting applications for the given course. Deposit deadline is the last date when you can pay £3,000 deposit and accept your offer. And CAS deadline is the last date when we can issue CAS. So all this information is available on the website, and I really urge you to make sure that you know these deadlines. Now, one of the most frequent questions that I get whenever I meet with students is about employability. One thing that you have to know is that when you are an international student, you can work 20 hours per week during term time and full time during holidays. So that's for undergraduate and postgraduate students. There is hardly any limitation where you can work. So you can work on campus, you can work off campus, you can work in Chester, you can work in Manchester or in any other city. So there is quite a lot of flexibility when it comes to employment. I think Chester is a very good place for students because we are a tourist city. So we have lots of cafes, shops, restaurants, hotels. These are typical establishments that employ students. One thing that I suppose you have to know is that in the UK we have a minimum wage, and that minimum wage is set by the UK government, and a lot of students will be working on a minimum wage. Minimum wage varies depending on your age, and it can be £6.45 to £8.72 per hour. So that means that you can earn around 1,300 Nepalese rupees per hour. But one thing that you have to remember is that the minimum wage is the same across the UK. So if you decide to study in London, one of the most expensive cities in the world, you are very likely to work on a minimum wage. And if you work in Chester, that salary will stretch much further. In terms of employability, majority of our undergraduate courses will have a 5-week work placement, unpaid, embedded in the second year. As I have mentioned before, some of our courses also have the option of 1-year paid work placement. We have Careers and Employability Office that is going to help you with navigating the job market. When you come to the UK, of course, you will have to adjust and adapt and learn how the marketplace works. We can help you with developing your CV, preparing you for job interviews. There are over 40 different sessions throughout the year that focus on employability and improving your employment skills. We have a scheme, uni job. These are jobs on campus. Every year we have over 200 jobs with various departments on campus. So you can work for the international office. We employ students through uni job. You can work in the library. You can help in the dining hall, or you can help us maintain our grounds. These are usually quite well paid jobs. And Careers and Employability Office also advertises vacancies within Chester area. I think last time I checked, they had over 1,000 different vacancies advertised throughout the year to our students. Now, if I was an international student, once again, I think I would have utilized my time a little bit better, because completing your degree is going to take you only that far. We have lots of extracurricular activities to help you with your employment. So remember that when you come to the UK, you will not be stuck in the class 24/7. At undergraduate level, you may be attending lectures for 12 to 20 hours per week. At postgraduate level, you will have 1, 2, or 3 days of classes per week. So there's plenty of free time to do other stuff outside of the class. And this is where I think University of Chester excels, because we have so many different things that you can do outside of your class. You can be a student ambassador and help us with open days, with answering questions from prospective students. You can volunteer at the University of Chester. Again, at the international office, we have had many students volunteering with us, gaining lots of different employability skills. You can do free computer classes. Usually, if you wanted to do ECDL, which is European Computer Driving License, you would have to pay over £100 to do it. But we offer this course free of charge to students. If you, for example, want to be, I don't know, an accountant, but you are not sure if this is the job that you really, really want, we can arrange work shadowing experience for you, where you will be shadowing an accountant for a day or two to see what the job really entails. You can be a hall warden, which is like a supervisor in halls of residence. You can do uni job, as I have mentioned, or our 5 weeks unpaid work placement during second year of your studies. And I think all of these things, this is only a small selection. There are 2 full pages of different activities that you can do outside of your class. And I think each and every of these activities is going to teach you new skills. For example, if you become a hall warden, when you go for that first job interview, you can talk about how you supervised 200 students in your hall of residence, which shows your management skills, which shows that you are a responsible person, that you can deal with conflicts, conflict resolution. And I think if you finish the University of Chester with your degree plus full CV of extracurricular activities, it's going to be much easier to find that job that you want. Graduation. Graduation takes place in the city cathedral, and it's over 1,000 years old. If your parents or if your family cannot attend it, then that's not a problem, because they will be able to see you online, because it's televised and it's available on the internet. It's streamed online, so they will be able to see that special day. Now, I'm curious whether this video will be working, so let's see. This is a very short video, just to show you what the city of Chester looks like. I think it's a very different experience when I talk about the city, and a very different experience when you can see it with your own eyes. So let's hope that this slide will work. And that's it. Here you can see my details. Half of my life I spend on WhatsApp. So if you are using WhatsApp, you can reach out to me and we can have a more detailed chat on WhatsApp or Skype. I'm always happy to answer students' questions. I really hope that I didn't take too much time. It's 11:45. I think I was supposed to give that presentation within 30 minutes. So I'm really sorry if I if I took too long, but that's it. Thank you so much.
It's okay. Thank you so much, Ella. Now we can move to our question and answer session. We have some questions from the students. Are you ready to answer them?
Oh, yes, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. Jenny is asking, is accommodation guaranteed? How much do students typically pay in rent?
Okay, so accommodation is guaranteed for international students as long as you apply within the deadline. And this year, that application accommodation deadline is 10th of August. There is a special website on our international web pages which mentions all the accommodation options. So I'm just wondering if I share screen once again. I just wanted to point out the student to the right link. Well, don't know how to do it, so I will just discuss it. So when you go to international web pages, you will be able to see accommodation options, and you will find all halls of residence that we offer. You will see where they are located on the map. You will see how much they cost. And you will see some images of these halls of residence as well. As I've mentioned, the cheapest accommodation is £79 per week. And it includes all the utilities. And the most expensive is probably around £170 per week. And this is where you get your own studio, so your own bathroom, your own kitchen. So this is the most expensive accommodation and the most posh.
Okay. And Priya is asking, will September intake affected by COVID or not?
Well, at this moment of time, we are processing applications as normal. It's now 8th of May, and the CAS deadlines, deposit deadlines, are in the end of August and middle of September. So we are still quite a few months away. As you know, the Prime Minister in the UK is going to announce what is going to happen over the next few weeks on Sunday. So we are waiting for further guidelines. So the university has to obey whatever UK government says. Like in Nepal, you have the same situation. We will have to see what is going to happen over the next 4 months, but it doesn't stop you from applying. If everything turns out well, then you are ready to go and pay in August and join us in September. But as soon as we know if the plans change, we are going to inform the students.
Okay. And Suzina is asking, what kind of job can we get near the university?
What kind of job we can get at the university?
Near university.
Near university. So most of students, when they come to the UK, will be working in the service industry. So we are talking about restaurants, shops, hotels. When I first came to the UK, I used to work at Manchester Evening News Arena. I was selling snacks during concerts. Next to me, future lawyers, future doctors. So I would say that these are the jobs. If you have, it depends really on your background. We have lots of people from the health sector, and they will be working in old age homes for people who are older, but they cannot live on their own anymore. There are lots of good job opportunities within volunteering sectors. Sometimes you can get better work experience by volunteering, so non-paid work experience than the paid one. But yeah, when I speak to my international students, as long as your English is quite good, you should not have a problem finding a job, and utilize all the resources that we offer to you. So I have mentioned already about career services. I cannot tell you how many mistakes I made when I first came to the UK, when I was applying for jobs, when I was going through job interviews, and I think it would have been a much smoother process for me if I actually attended the briefing sessions at my university. I think that would be a much quicker process to get a first job.
Okay, and Jenny is asking again, can you please tell me about other fees and cost in addition to tuition fees?
Do we know whether she wants to apply for foundation, bachelor, or master's degree?
Need to ask her. You can explain about UG courses or master courses.
Right. So our tuition fees vary depending on how much scholarship you are going to get. So at undergraduate level, if you get the maximum scholarship, you can pay £10,450 per year. It's very important to note that our tuition fees for undergraduate students will be the same throughout your studies. So whatever you will pay in year one and whatever scholarships you will get in year one of your bachelor degree, you will pay the same tuition fees in year 2 and year 3. Some universities offer scholarships only in the first year, or they increase tuition fees in year 2 and year 3, which makes it much more difficult for parents to budget. So our tuition fees and scholarships are the same. At postgraduate level, if you get the maximum scholarship, you can pay £9,450. But when you add on top of that the cost of living, which you will need to show us £9,400 for living expenses, let's say a ballpark figure is around £20,000 per each year of study. So when students apply for visa, they will have to show money for living expenses. This money they keep in their own pocket and they don't have to give it to the university. When they come to Chester, they can spend much more than what UKVI recommends, or much less. When I speak to my international students, they tell me that on average they spend between £500 and £650 per month on accommodation, food, and other expenses. So that's actually much lower than £9,135, which is recommended by the Home Office for cost of living.
Okay. So basically, if any student gets 2,000 scholarship in year one in UG, then that 2,000 will be for first year and second year, and it will be for third year as well.
Yeah. Right? So let's say that the tuition fees are £12,400.50, and you got a £2,000 scholarship. So you will be paying £10,400.50 in year one, £10,400.50 in year two, and £10,400.50 in year 3.
Thank you, Linda. And Sujina is asking, as I have completed my year 12 in 2018, what are the additional requirements for me?
Well, for students who have study gaps, we will be looking at what you have been doing in the past 2 years. I don't want to discuss specific cases online here, but after this session, you may contact BIS Education, or you can contact myself, and we can have a chat what you have been doing in the past 2 years. And then I will be able to advise you how likely you are to get an offer letter from the University of Chester.
Okay, thank you. And another question from Smita Sitola. Is there possibility of September intake? I think you have already.
Yeah, I have already mentioned that we are working as normal, and we just have to follow the government guidance. It's such an unpredictable situation. Nobody knows what is going to happen over the next few months. If everything goes back to normal in the UK and universities open and everybody is starting their school, this doesn't mean that everything will be back to normal in Nepal. Maybe you will not be able to travel, maybe the borders will be closed, and vice versa. So at this moment of time, we are hoping for the best. But nobody knows for sure what is going to happen in September 2020. But we are working, we are processing applications. So in the worst case scenario, if you cannot start this September, you can always defer your place to the next available intake.
Thank you. And Paras Mani Yadav, I think we have already got offer of Paras Mani Yadav as well. He's asking, would you please tell me about foundation level course accounting in finance?
Foundation course. So foundation course, I don't remember from the top of my head whether we have two different types of foundation. One foundation is for students who don't have the required academic grades and their English is slightly lower than what we need. And one foundation course is for students with lower academic grades, but good level of English. So the structure of your course will depend on which foundation you will be studying at. The foundation year is here to prepare you from the academic point of view, to make sure that you are strong academically when you join year one, that your English improves as well. You know, it's to make sure that you, when you join the bachelor degree, you are not going to fail, that you are not going to drop out, that you are not going to struggle with your course. When you go to our website, you will be able to find more information about the course content during your foundation year there. But if there are any questions that the course webpage does not answer, then contact me and I'll be more than happy to get the answers for you.
Thank you. And Jenny is asking, should I pay the full tuition fee in one time?
That depends entirely on you. If you pay tuition fees for the year in full, then you can benefit from the £250 full fee payment discount. That's quite a lot of money. That you know, if you have the money, you can pay it in full. As I said, for if you need a refund, we are going to refund it in full before the CAS is issued. That's entirely up to you, whether you want to pay it in 3 installments or whether you want to pay it in one go.
Okay. And Anusa is asking, you do credit transfer to another country or from another country? Yeah.
Credit transfers at master's level, no. So if you are studying at master's level in your country and you want to switch your credits and come to the UK, then we don't accept credit of transfers of credit. But at undergraduate level, yes, we can always look into this. Every year we accept a number of students from all over the world who have completed 1, 2, 3 years of study in their home, and then they are transferring to the University of Chester. Whenever a student wants to transfer credits, we will be looking at what you have been studying, because as I've mentioned, if you study computer science in your home country, it's not necessarily the same course and the same course content as computer science at the University of Chester. So whenever we get any credit transfer requests, we always send them to the department, and the program leader compares the curriculum, and then they decide whether a student can get advanced and year entry or not.
Okay. And Jenny is asking again, is there an advantage to submitting my application early? Also, what bursaries and scholarships are available?
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, I I really ask you to submit your application early, because then the whole application process is less stressful for you and for us. Very often when students leave the application process to the last minute, they are not able to make it because, for example, they took our English language test and they failed it, and they cannot take IELTS because it's too late, they will not get the results. Or, for example, they thought that they were having the correct bank statements, but they don't. So when you apply early and when you have your offer letter early, then that means that if you make any mistakes throughout the application process, we have enough time to think about option B and C. When you leave it to the last minute, then you really have to be spot on and have all the documents ready at the correct, in the correct format at the correct time, and you have to pass English language for, when you take it. I would say that's a huge advantage of applying early. One thing that you have to remember is that we are the most busy in the summer times. So when in June, July, August, and even in September, we are getting all the high school results or the university results. People are sending outstanding documents. We are issuing CASs because we can only issue CAS 3 months before the course start date. So everything just takes longer in the summer. If you apply now, and if you want to take our English language test, I may have a slot for you for next week. But in the summer, there can be a waiting list, and you may have to wait 3 weeks for your English language test. So I would say that apply as early as possible. Apply for your visa as early as possible as well, because international students are allowed to arrive in the UK 1 month before the course start date. And I think that's such a good idea to arrive early, look for your accommodation, register with your doctor, get to know the city, settle down, rather than getting off the plane and going to your classes straight from the airport. And believe me, this has happened so many times that students get off the plane and they go to the class the same day. Yeah, I would choose option A.
Yeah, of course. And Priya is asking, being UG student, I want to ask whether we will have any option on Jan intake or not.
I didn't get the first part of the question. You were asking about January intake for which course?
UG, undergraduate courses. Yeah.
Undergraduate courses. So usually we do not have January intake. So as I've mentioned, our main intake is September. And in the past, we only had master's courses available in January. Saying that, I know that the university is working on various plans B's and C's to see, what is possible. So I don't know what is going to happen, but if September intake is not possible, we are exploring the possibility of delivering courses maybe first semester online, or maybe pushing it back to January 2021 intake. All these options are on the table at this moment of time, but our first and preferred option is, of course, starting classes in September 2020, with students being in Chester and attending them physically, on the ground, attending lectures. But as I said, it's very, very unpredictable what is going to happen over the next few months, and we just have to closely follow what the UK government says. The next update from the British Prime Minister is on Sunday. So we are looking forward to hear what we are going to do over the next few weeks, whether the lockdown will be eased, whether some people will be able to go to work. At this moment of time, we don't have clarity. We are all working from home. So I'm talking to you today from my house, but it does not stop me from doing my work. So the whole admission team is working as normal, online, processing applications as if we were in the office.
Okay. And Jenny is asking, who will take the interview?
When it comes to English language test, the test is conducted by our English language teachers. We have a pool of 5 or 6 English language teachers who are fully qualified, and they will meet you on Skype, and we'll be assessing your speaking, listening, reading, and writing. It's not exactly the same test as IELTS, it's our own test, but they are very friendly, and I hope that it will be less stressful than taking IELTS. When it comes to genuine intention interview, we have a group of genuine intention interviewers who will be again meeting you on Skype. And don't worry, if you don't do well at the first attempt, you can take the test once again so that you can improve your answers. But this team is there on the ground in Nepal to guide all the students who want to apply to the University of Chester about both of the tests, and to make sure that you pass it as at the first attempt. So just to clarify, English language test can be taken only once, but genuine intention interview will give you a few chances so that you can get confident and you can get as best as you can at answering the questions.
Thank you. And Sujina is asking, can I apply without IELTS?
Yes, of course. As I've mentioned before, so many IELTS test centers are closed, and a lot of students are panicking that they will not be able to meet the English language criteria. But University of Chester has been conducting English language tests for the past 7 years, and we can do it on Skype. And if you pass our test, we will be able to waive IELTS, and we will remove that condition from your offer letter. If you don't pass it, there is still an option of taking our online pre-sessional course in the summer. Alternatively, you may want to take IELTS once that IELTS centers are open, and if you get the required score, we will also remove the English condition from your offer letter.
I like to add something on this one as well. And regarding this GI and IELTS English test, we didn't have a single visa refusal for University of Chester. So it's our result speak ourselves, so that's why we didn't have a single visa refusal for University of Chester.
Oh, thank you so much, Harry. I completely forgot to mention that. Yes, for some students, our process may seem too rigorous. Oh my God, I have to take genuine intention interview. But we are doing all of these things to make sure, and we are working with BEES Education to make sure that we give you the best possible chance of securing a visa. And last year, our visa success rate, not only from Nepal, but from overall, from all of the countries, is more than 98%. So we are very thorough when we are filtering applications, when we are checking whether you can get an offer letter from us. We are working very closely with BEES Education on preparing you for that genuine intention interview, and make sure that when you go for the visa interview, all the documents are in order. So thank you so much, Harry, for working with us so closely and making sure that the visa success rate was 100% from Nepal in the last year.
And this GI is not for your university interview. It's gonna tell you briefly about University of Chester, living thing, and the culture of the UK as well. And it's the really important thing, you need to know about the university you're going and the place you're going to live. So this GI is complete package of, a brief about the University of Chester and UK. So I insist every student, please do your credibility interview with any universities. So it's going to help you to settle in UK. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
and Zeni is asking, are there any internship opportunities within university or out of university?
At undergraduate level, most of our courses will have a 5-week unpaid work placement built in the course. And also some of our courses will have 1-year placement opportunity option in the 3rd year. But at master's level, unfortunately, we do not have any internships or placements. Master's degree is only 1 year in duration, so it's very difficult to add any placement or internship because it's a much shorter course than in Nepal or in the USA or in Canada. But if you want to get work experience, if you want to gain work experience, you can do that through working part-time and through volunteering and through extracurricular activities. Some of my students, have excellent CVs, 2-page long CVs by the time they finish their studies at the University of Chester, because they have absolutely taken every opportunity and they attended almost every class that is available to them. And when I mentioned those 2 pages of extracurricular activities, some of the students have done everything that is on the table. So the fact that we don't have internships at master's level doesn't mean that you cannot gain some work skills and improve your CV.
Okay, so for undergraduate students, they need to sort by their own for placement, or university will provide it.
So when we are talking about the 5-week placement, the process is usually starting halfway through the 2nd year, and we have like a notice board with available vacancies, and students have to go through the application process, through the interview process. So we are mimicking, the experience that you will have to go through in your adult life many times over. So this is a very good preparation for for those job interviews in the future. For 1 vacancy, 5 students can apply, or even more. So you have to, of course, show yourself in the best light. But I would say that most of the students, go through, manage to get, some kind of work experience. The quicker you apply, the better it is. So one of my students from Russia, she was studying accounting and finance, and she got herself a placement with Money Supermarket, which is a big company in the UK. And when I asked her what was the key for her success, she said that she was checking the vacancy board for the placement every day. And the moment she spotted the job that she wanted to go for, she applied instantly. Once she actually was interviewed and the company liked her, that vacancy was not available anymore. So usually the longer you wait, the worst kind of placement opportunities you are going to get. So the early bird catches the worm, as they say.
Okay, and Prakash Tamang is asking, can I apply MPS without IELTS?
Yes, for any of our courses, you can apply without IELTS. So it doesn't matter whether that's MPH, computer science, or arts and media. Actually, that's not true. There will be certain courses, very small number of courses where IELTS is required, such as nursing. But for my majority, probably over 95% of our courses, you can apply without IELTS. And once you have conditional offer letter in hand, we can organize free English language test on Skype with one of our English language teachers.
Yeah, I'd like to add one thing on this one. Regarding like the IELTS requirement, if any course is pre-registered, like a health course, social work, this course require IELTS. Okay, it's required by the the awarding body. So they require IELTS. So other than that, the normal course, we don't need IELTS. And the University of Chester, they have their own English language test system. So if you pass on that English language test, we can waive the IELTS. Thank you.
And Anisa is asking, will university provide placement for PhD student? I think Ella has already answered this.
I said no, unfortunately, we have no placements at postgraduate level.
Yeah. Okay. Jenny is asking, is the job placement real for graduates? I have completed my bachelor degree in the year 2015.
We don't understand.
Yeah, sorry, I don't understand the question.
Is the job placement help for graduate? I think she's asking same is a placement available for PG students or not? I think
so. I don't know whether she's referring to the post-study work visa. So I'm sure that most of Nepalese students have heard that back in 2019, the UK government announced that the post-study work visa will be back. And that's such great news, because I have been working for the University of Chester for the past 10 years, and you know, there was no post-study work visa scheme really in operation for the past 8-9 years in the UK. So the fact that the UK government announced that they are planning to bring it back, you know, is great news. We have seen application numbers soaring. Everybody is now thinking, yes, UK is good value for money. I will be able to get my work experience. So if you have graduated in 2015, of course, you know, you cannot apply for a post-study work visa for the graduate scheme. We don't know yet the details, what the scheme is going to look like. All we know at this moment of time is that it's going to be a 2-year post-study work visa. So if you have completed undergraduate or postgraduate course in the UK, then you will be able to stay on for extra 2 years in the UK, and to gain that work experience, to recuperate the cost of your studies. And we are waiting for this to be, you know, put down as a law. So far, we have only had the announcement. Of course, the UK government has now other pressing issues that they have to deal with. But some of my colleagues had a meeting with the UK government last week, and we are reassured that the postgraduate, you know, working scheme is going to be available in 21. The government is still working on it, but we are just waiting for the details. So it's for the people who will be, for the students who will be graduating in 21. I don't know whether that's the summer of 21, or is there going to be a specific cutoff date when you have to graduate. But if you have graduated in 2015, unfortunately, you will not be eligible for that scheme.
Yeah, thank you. And Smriti is asking, can you please tell me about accommodation and tuition fees in tourism and hospitality management in foundation degree?
Right. So tourism and hospitality management, we have the same tuition fee for undergraduate students. And so it's £12,450. And depending which foundation, we have 2 different foundation programs, and depending which one you will be applying for, then the tuition fees will be slightly different. So the first year, the foundation year, is £9,200.50. There are no scholarships. You will be paying exactly the same fee as UK students are paying for foundation at the University of Chester. So we are not overcharging international students. And then moving on to your bachelor degree, you will be either paying £10,400.50 or £11,400.50. I can clarify that once I speak to you on one-to-one basis and I know which foundation programs you will be applying for. But as I said before, your parents will have to budget approximately £20,000 for tuition fees and living expenses per each year of your studies.
Yep. And Rita Bandari is asking, fees and IELTS score is same for every course, like for science?
Fees are different depending whether you are applying for foundation, whether you are applying for bachelor, master's, MBA. So they are very similar, but not exactly the same. And it also depends how much scholarship you are going to get. In terms of English, the entry requirements are also different. So certain courses like nursing or social work may ask for higher IELTS, like IELTS 7. Foundation, you can have IELTS as low as 5. But the general rule is that for undergraduate courses, you have to have level of English equivalent to 6.0 with no element below 5.5. And at postgraduate level, you have to have English language equivalent to IELTS 6.5 with no element below 5.5. And if your English is slightly weaker, you can always come on our pre-sessional course in the summer.
Absolutely. And Anissa is asking, what is the last date of application as COVID has affected and I have not got my transcript yet?
Mm-hmm. You can apply even without your transcript. So if you can submit your application or your documents to BEES Education, even if you don't have your final transcript, we can at least process your application and issue conditional offer letter on your final transcripts. During my presentation, I had one slide when I mentioned all the deadlines. It depends which course, because different courses will have different, let me just actually, I don't know from the top of my head all the deadlines, but it's all on our website. So if you go to University of Chester website and then international section and how to apply, you will have at the bottom of the page important dates. And here you can find all the application deadlines for all of our courses. So as you can see, if you are applying for a bachelor degree or foundation, application deadline is 24th of August. And if you are applying for majority of our postgraduate courses, then the application deadline is 7th of September. But if I can ask you once again not to apply at the last minute, because this is going to be a very, very hectic turnaround time, and it's going to be very stressful for you, and you cannot afford to make any mistakes if you applied so late. So if you can apply now, even though you don't have final transcripts, please do it.
Yes. Prakash is asking, do you have EMBA program?
EMBA?
Yeah.
We don't have EMBA, but we have a course which is called Work-Based and Integrative Studies. And a number of international students have now completed a management degree without leaving their home. But this is a very specific course because you have to be employed. So it's for people who are employed because there is a lot of self-reflective practice involved in the course, and the course is tailored around you and around your workplace and around what you are doing. So yes, you can obtain a management degree on distance learning basis. So we can discuss that after this session, and I can give you all the details how to apply and how to make an application, because it will be slightly different to the ordinary application process.
Yes. And Anusa, no, actually I was asking if you do credit transfer to another university of another country for bachelor's.
Yes. So yes, if you have studied in Nepal at the university and you have completed maybe 2 years of your bachelor degree, and you would like to now transfer your credits to the University of Chester, we can always consider that, as long as we, of course, have the course. Because if you have been studying, oh God, I don't know, I cannot think from the top of my head the course that we don't have, architecture, then we don't offer architecture, so there is no possibility of credit transfer. But as long as we have a course that is similar to the one that you have been studying, we can always check with the department if you can get a credit transfer.
And Sandhya is asking, what is the cost of English test?
It's free of charge. You don't have to pay anything. So Bunny, how much is the cost of IELTS in Nepal? Is it something like £150, 130?
Around, I think it's 21,500 in Nepali rupees. I think in pound.
20,000. You may potentially save yourself 21,000 Nepalese rupees there, because our test is free of charge, but you can only take it once. So if you don't pass it, then you cannot take it 2 weeks later. Whilst IELTS, you can take as many times as you want.
Yes. And do you have any link with professional body like CIMA, SECA?
Yes. So if you go to our accounting and finance degree, BSc Accounting and Finance, you will be able to see that the course offers a number of credit exemptions from professional bodies. So again, go to international courses and then undergraduate courses. And when you go to Accounting and Finance course webpage, you will be able to see that we offer credit exemptions from ACCA, ICEAW, AAT, Institute of Financial Accounting. So there are lots of different credit exemptions and accreditations when it comes to our BSc Accounting and Finance course. And on Wednesday, 1st of, that has already happened. If you have any questions about the course, I can always arrange a Skype meeting or WhatsApp meeting with the program leader, so that you can find exactly how these exemptions and accreditations work.
Thank you. And Sandhya is asking, Duolingo accepted or not Duolingo online test?
No. So unfortunately, if we do not accept medium of instruction, so I know that some of the students have been studying their degrees in English in Nepal, but unfortunately we cannot waive IELTS based on the fact that you have been studying your degree in English. You will still have to take our free English language test or provide us with one of the approved tests that we accept. If you have been studying in an international school in Nepal, so let's say that you have done O levels in English, then yes, then we can waive IELTS on that basis. But if you have studying in a national curriculum, grade 12 in Nepal, then we cannot waive IELTS.
I think it's Duolingo is like IELTS, but it's conducted online. So
yeah, the question is not very clear. So I'm not sure whether she meant that she was studying her medium of instruction was in English. We would have to clarify that after the session, or if you are still online, maybe clarify it in the chat session, and then we will know what exactly you mean.
Ella, Duolingo is a new test, similar like us, but it's conducted on online. So because it's the new one, so I think University of Chester they not accept this one.
Right.
It's similar to us, but it conduct in a online.
The things are moving very, very fast. So we can, I can always check if you apply and you have taken that test. I can always check with the head of admissions whether we could recognize that test. So don't get discouraged, and you can apply, and I can always check with the head of admissions if you could waive IELTS based on that. What is it called once again?
Duolingo, isn't it?
Yeah, Duolingo.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Any more questions, Pani?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rita is asking if we are unable to pass the test, then what are the options? Can we have the format of the English test? Rita.
Yeah, before you actually take our English language test, we are going to send you instructions and more information about the format of the test. We don't have any past papers because, as I said, our test is not exactly like IELTS. If you fail our English language test, then you will have a number of options. You can either attend our online pre-sessional English in the summer, or you can go and retake IELTS or TOEFL or Pearson exam once the test centers open. And if you get the required score, we will be able to waive IELTS or English language requirement.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Rita is asking, what is the cost of pre-assessment course for master level if you have low score in IELTS?
So academic entry criteria and English language entry criteria are two separate things. Sometimes students ask me, oh, can I get extra scholarship because I have excellent IELTS result? English language is completely separate from your academic, and our scholarship is given purely on your academic grades. So if you have taken IELTS and you did not do very well, do not worry, your tuition fees or your scholarships will not be impacted by that, because we will be looking at your academic GPA. And if your English is low, we will have to see which of the options is the best for you, whether you should do our English language test or whether you should do our pre-sessional. It really depends how far away from the target score you are. So we can have a discussion about this after this chat.
Thank you so much, Ella. And this is it. I think no more questions are available to us. Yeah.
So I think we can move to next phase, and we can discuss with the current student, and if any student have any doubt, regarding life in the UK and study in the UK, because there are here, like in a panel, we have two students from University of Chester. I think one is doing foundation and another guy is doing accounting. So if you have any question related to those faculties, you can contact with our student as well, and they are in our board and they are happy to answer your questions. And along with them, we have I think 2 or 3 students from different universities, so they want to share their experience as well. So feel free, okay, if you guys want to ask any question, or like Samrat and Sandeep, if you want to say something, you can do now.
So Sandeep, would you like to share your experience with us?
Yes, ma'am. I want to share my experience in University of Chester.
The video is, we need your video, Sandeep.
Okay. I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome, Sandeep.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ila.
Hello, Sandeep.
Hello, ma'am. Yeah, I'm the one of the student who are studying in the University of Chester in accounting and finance. I'm first year student. And now I'm facing my final exam at home. And so I have a lots of experience in the University of Chester. Um, uh, I haven't seen any one question to have any link with the professional body like CMA and SCCA. Yeah, I'm also the SCCA students already registered in SCCA and CMA. Yeah, there is the lots of lecturer who helps to register with the SCCA and CMA and ICAEW, which is the own professional body of UK and UK. There is lots of professional body which is linked with the different course. So there is no any doubt about it. Now I have. Yeah, and in the UK we have lots of international students, but from Nepal there is quite few because it's the countable student from the Nepal. So I want to increase the number of students and to make the different Nepalese society here, because at now there is no any Nepalese society in the University of Chester. I think so. I want to increase the Nepalese friend at in this university. So uh, if I want to say about the University of Chester, it's the University of Chester, and Chester city is the quite traditional city. Is the I'm really enjoying the environment. In the context of the university, is the uh, lots of students from different country. So it's the dimensional for the agriculture and language which interest in that field also. So in the case of lecturer, there is the different lecturer from the different countries. So I'm studying management accounting, which is studied from the Chinese teacher. So yeah, it's the once wonderful case. And I want to share my one experience when I was in my first day of university, and I faced my first lecture. I think lecture from the Ireland or maybe from that types of country, and I'm so I'm confusing. So because I'm not understanding the accent of the lecturer. So and after finish the class, and I told the lecturer, and I'm saying I'm the international student, so I'm difficult to understand your accent. And he said to me, "Yeah, don't worry, I will be improve your English, and I will going to slow on my accent." So and after next day, and he always asked after finish the class, I understand my lecture. Yeah, so all the teachers and the lecturers are so helpful, so kindly. So they are always to be the on queue on to solve our problem. Yeah, if you have any question regarding to me, so yeah.
Sandeep, I think a lot of students, are worried about part-time work and employability. So, can you tell us how you found your first job? How quickly was it? What do you do? And how has it been the experience of finding the job?
Yeah, at first when I have at here, at first we need to make the NI number, which is the national insurance number, to do the work at any company or any restaurant and business. So first we have to make the NI number, which takes around 1.5 months. After that, I will get the when I get the got the NI number, I applied for different website and different apps from apps. Like Indeed is the best helping apps for the student who are seeking for the job, and I applied for the many jobs. And after 1.5 months, I got the offer from the McDonald's. I'm now currently doing the McDonald's job in McDonald's. So it's a quite easy. It's not so hard to find the job, and it's the quite easy. And I'm doing the McDonald's job, and now but due to the COVID-19, I'm staying at home, but I'm earning the 80% salary from at there. So it's not too hard to get job and surviving at there.
And do you work on a minimum wage, or does McDonald's pay
Yeah,
higher than minimum?
no, it's its own scheme. It's paid according to the your age. So now I'm It's yeah, it's the minimum wage rate. It's paying as the different wage.
Mhm. But so when you earn a minimum wage in the UK, can you cover your food expenses? Can you cover some of the accommodation? How much you can cover when you earn a minimum wage in the UK?
Yeah, when I started job, yeah, I successfully done. I covered my the all wages and the home rent and other expenses. McDonald, I really say I want to McDonald's pay the around 8.5 pound per hour for my age group. I'm almost cover. I almost yeah yeah 8.5 8.50 pounds. So it's not a very hard to survive it here. It's the quite more money compared to the Nepal, so it's not too hard.
Yeah, because when I first came to the UK from Poland, we also have a system of minimum wage in my country, but on Polish minimum wage, it's so difficult to survive. You will be counting every penny or every Polish zloty. But when I first came to the UK and as a student, I was working on a minimum wage. I was surprised, that you can actually cover a lot of your expenses without any problem. So it seems like if there is a difference between minimum wage in Europe and in the UK.
Yeah, in the context of the minimum wage rent, the government of UK every year upgrading the minimum wage rate. So from the now this year in the age of I am the 22 years old. So it's upgrade from the 8.31 to 8.72. So
Mm-hmm. Per
UK
hour.
government every year upgrading their wages level.
Yeah, and I'd like to add one more thing. I'd like to give information about what Sandeep has said, like say he got 80% of his salary. It means like, see, the beauty of UK is it's not gonna like say they only look after their own nationality.
Yeah.
Okay. Because what UK government has just come out and say, whoever work on a tax, okay, whoever work on a like, in like using their NI, and we're like working in a good sector, they will provide 80% of salary. So Sandeep is working at home, not working, he's at home, but he's getting 80% of his salary. So that means the government is looking after the person who is working.
Yeah.
That's good beauty of UK. And other things like, I like to ask Sandeep one question.
Yes.
So you have lots of friends from different cities of UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have friends. I don't want to mention the name and other things. So what do you feel about them and the Chester? So what do you feel, like, do you prefer like you want to move to other city or you want to live in Chester, and whatever the University of Chester?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you for question. Yeah, I'm in Chester here from last 7-8 months. So I'm really enjoying my life in Chester because the really beautiful city, and is the really well developed and well organized city, because it's the in the near of my room is there is the uh, every types of security, every types of facilities which is regarded with my day to day business. So I'm there is many friends who are lots in Scotland as well, in the UK, here is London and Birmingham. But I have been in from the London, Birmingham, and Scotland as well. But I like most in the just because it's the small city. I don't say in the business. It's the small city. It's really beautiful and peaceful. And first is the peaceful because we are the students, so we want the peace while I'm studying in the city, while I'm studying in the room. So it's the peaceful, and the people of the Chester are the all of the native people. Maximum are the native people in UK, and most of the people are migrant here from the European countries also. So it's the really helpful environment, and it's a really enjoying environment at Chester, sir.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you for the
Thank you.
answer.
I'd like to ask one thing to Sandeep as well. So Sandeep, would you like to share your experience of English language test and your GI interview? How was it, and how you faced it, how you prepared it, so the new students can get some tips from you?
Yes, thank you, ma'am, Bani ma'am. So when I faced my English test, it's same like the is the format is same like the IELTS states, but in the English state there is a no. There is some part like in the writing part there is no part one of the IELTS group. I think there is the only essay writing in the English test. Uh, it's quite same as the IELTS test, but it's different because we are facing on face to face in IELTS test, but in the English test of Chester, we need to face from the Skype. So it's not very different from the IELTS. So if any students are scaring with the English test, so I suggest them to please do not scare, because I was also scared when I was not facing this test, and after this test I said it's not English test because it's just a conversation between the two men. So please do not scare about the IELTS test.
Question, Sandeep. When
Yes.
you apply for a visa, did you interview with a visa officer?
Yeah, I did.
And how was it? I mean, I assume that it must have been pretty scary experience to speak to that visa officer who was judging whether you are a genuine student or not.
Yeah, because when I was in the visa council officer, I getting into the visa council officer, because he's the lady, she asking me the different tricky questions. Yeah, different tricky questions like that. She was asking me the what is your annual income of your family in the context of the Nepalese rupees, because all the students are preparing their families income, annual income in the context of the pound, because we need to prepare for the in every currency. So it's the not very tricky question. If we prepared well, so it's not too different and not too very scaring question. So it's the normal question which are already prepared by the in consultancy like this. So
बाइकमा एकजना मात्र चढ्न दोस्, गाडीमा बडीमा 3 जना ड्राइभर सहित.
hello. Okay.
No,
So
that's all right.
it's not really hard to the first student who are facing that as an interview, I think.
That's all. And yeah, thank you, Sandeep, for your all the questions. We have a board on like Samrat as well. I think Samrat want to say something as well. And there is a one guy who is Subhas Tamang raised his hand. Prakash Tamang. Prakash, you want to say something? Prakash, you want to ask any question or you want to say something to Sandeep or Samrat?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
Prakash.
I want to. Hello, everybody. Namaste.
Namaste.
I want to ask some questions.
Yeah.
I have finished master degree and I want to study about accounting and finance in a Chester University. So how can I apply? Can you share your experience, Sandeep?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Actually, I think you spoke about the master degree. So actually, I'm currently studying the bachelor's degree. So it's better to, I have better knowledge about the bachelor's degree. So I think it's help you.
Yes, unfortunately, we do not have accounting and finance master's degree at the University of Chester. We have MSc International Finance. You know, if you could just go to our website and whether you could if you could read the course content and the modules and see whether this is anything of interest to you, because it's not a degree that is, you know, in accounting. It's more like international finance. So I'm not sure whether this is something that is also of interest to you. But if the University of Chester does not have what you want to study, do not worry, because BEES Education is offering, is representing a number of UK universities. So they will find you a suitable study option if Chester doesn't have anything to offer.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you,
Thank you, Bella. And Samrat, would you like to share your experience as well?
Yeah, Good afternoon and namaste everyone. Like I came no, like at first, like I would like to thank like Biz Education family and all the entire team, like who helped me during my processing and everything, because like when I was in Nepal, like they were my guardian angels, like Kunzani. Like they helped me to like grant my visa, and like just because of them, like I think that like I'm here today, and like and like the reason like I choose University of Chester, because like before coming to University of Chester or in UK, like I did couple of research, like, and I personally choose University of Chester because like University of Chester was established in 1839, and it is one of the oldest institution in UK, and like, and the another main reason is like University of Chester accepts you like without IELTS, like IELTS नदिकन पनि ऊ के अरे English test धेरै exam धेरै आउन पाउँछ, and like I want to grab that opportunity, like, and I feel like I didn't want to waste my 20,000 in Nepal. Like I had that opportunity, then like why not, like, so I grabbed that opportunity, and like then after at the moment, like I'm doing business management with foundation degree, and like foundation degree मा चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ नि इलाले भनेको जस्तै, like there are two kind of foundation degree, like one is चाहिँ like जसको चाहिँ background English background चाहिँ एकदमै नराम्रो हुन्छ, and like अर्को स्टुडेन्ट को चाहिँ like हुन्छ नि English चाहिँ राम्रो हुन्छ तर like they can speak English and write in English properly, and like
somebody is speaking in Nepali and English both. He's explaining the student in Nepalese and English. Okay, it's much difficult for you to hear. He's speaking in Nepalese and English, so he's trying to convince here his friend saying in Nepali, so and he's speaking English as well.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, Ila, but like they are Nepali, so like I think like they will feel more comfortable like if I speak in Nepali, so like I'm speaking Nepali. Like I'm sorry, no offense though.
No problem.
Like and like.
Do you like to say how you're coping with this current scenario, and what are you doing? How is your study going? Like that. Would you like to say that?
Yeah, like at the moment, like I'm doing business management with foundation degree, and like I thought that like when I came to UK, that I thought that like oh, like I came here with foundation degree and like I have to do English test and everything now though. So like, but like it was not that, like I didn't do English test like when I came to UK, like I did university study skills, like which helped me a lot. Like the students like who are planning to come in foundation degree, don't worry about anything, because like when you come in foundation degree, then like you learn a lot of things. Like in foundation degree, like you'll be learning like public speaking and like referencing and like doing assignment and everything, and like when you come in like foundation degree, like they will help you to like build a confidence in yourself and everything. And the reason, and the another reason, like I choose University of Chester because like for me like as I'm a student of business management, and like University of Chester is like they won award-winning business school, and I think that will be really helpful for me. And apart from University of Chester, the surrounding is also very good, and Chester have second photograph. I mean the best sorry, and I'm the like apart from the University of Chester, the surrounding is also good, and they have spectacular surrounding and everything. The Chester have second best clock in the England, like after Big Ben and everything. So yeah, and at the moment, like because of COVID-19 and everything, like everything have stopped, and like at the moment, like I'm also sitting in home, but I don't have to worry about anything because the government is paying me 80%. So yeah. So, overall, like so far so good. I'm enjoying my journey in UK, Chester. But like when you first come to Chester, I mean like in UK, like you'll be new and everything, but like don't overwhelm yourself and don't stress yourself. Like just grab the every opportunity and enjoy it.
So I remember when Samrat first arrived in Chester and he came to the International Center, and I remember how shy he was and that he was really struggling to speak in English. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, I hope that you are going to get used to UK very quickly. So when I look at you, Samrat, now, I cannot believe that you are the same person that I met a few months ago. Your English has improved so much. And I see that your confidence level has improved as well. And I think this is what happens to people when you don't have many Nepalese friends and people surrounding you, because then you have to get out of your comfort zone and you have to practice your English 24/7. So, and that's only not even the first year for Samrat in Chester. By year 4, when he finishes his bachelor degree, I bet he's going to have a British accent.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I'll take it as a compliment. And yeah, like if you are planning to apply in University of Chester, like there is another good news as well, because like University of Chester have like 95% employability rates. So like PSW have also arrived, and like it is like really helpful for international students. Like 95% like employability rate is not a joke, like it's very high. So yeah, you will have that opportunity as well.
Thank you, Samrat, for your kind information regarding University of Chester and everything. I think, Bani, let's move to another one. Sunita is there. So Sunita gonna share her experience regarding life of a UK student, international UK international student in UK. So can we move to that one, because it's already 2 hours now. We have only a few minutes now. So let's go to Sunita now.
So hi everyone, it's Miss Sunita, and I'm studying MSc in International Hospitality and Tourism in international course. So talking about my experience in UK, I feel so it was like really shocked moment at the time when I came to UK. It was literally raining because of the weather, and the thing all of the students, maybe they will just found like the weather is really different than our country. So it's like, we don't have like any, sometimes it rains, sometimes sun is shining really brightly. And so regarding about the job opportunities for the students, it's really challenging and opportunities, because we are students from the different part of the UK. So as my colleague, two of them are from the Chester and I'm from the Preston. So it's a really small city from the Chester, and so it's really hard to find job as long as you don't devote your time to search the job, like applying online or anything else. So if you don't do any if you don't provide any effort from your side, then you won't be able to find any jobs. So if you wanted to do job or anything else, then you have to search through the online and everything. So sharing my experience of job searching. So I didn't work till the December of last year, because I was just trying to search out like good jobs, because we can find lots of care job in here. So before applying to the care job, I tried to find lots of job that is suitable for my course and from the background of my course as well. And so by the end of the 2019, I got job in Manchester Marriott. So, and then I started to work there. As one of my colleagues from Chester, he has already mentioned, because due to this COVID-19, all of the, like, not only the British people or the international students, they are facing the problem from the jobs. So they are also providing like 80% of salary, which I'm also getting benefited from that. So in context of that, I think it's really good. And regarding about the education, so it's completely different from our country, because we have to depend on ourselves, not with the like tutor or anyone else. So back in home, we depend on our teacher, notes, friends, and everything else. But here we have to do by our own. We have to do our assignment by like critical thinking, analyzing, and self reflecting things and everything else. But we can get help from the tutors, because they will be available for 24/7 in 24/7. So I guess I think I have covered all of my experience, because we have really limited time as well. So thank you, Harida, for giving this opportunity to share my experience again, and to all the teams as well. So if you have any questions regarding about anything, then you can ask.
Thank you, Sunita. Thank you for your words, and thank you, everyone. So I think Bani gonna for the if you have any visa queries or queries, please guys, you can contact us. Okay. I think Bani gonna.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sunita, and thank you so much, Ella, Sandeep, everyone, and the students. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions regarding visa processing, documentation, everything, you can contact us in any time through WhatsApp, Viber, Facebook. So thank you so much, all of you, for your wonderful time, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much as well. And as I said, I hope to see some of you that attended the session today in just in a few months. Let's hope that everything is going to go back to normal very soon.
Thank you so much, all of you, and please stay safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.